Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Perrine, the Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, visit www.indianasfinest.com. I want to thank our good friends and partners at Network Indiana for getting us on the radio waves across the great state of Indiana each and every week. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're listening to us on the radio, it's thanks to our good buddy Eddie Griffin, who's in there pushing buttons and making us sound good. Thanks to our good friend Tom Trial for all the work he does in studio to get us put on YouTube every week. Check out the Indiana State Police YouTube channel for an amazing amount of historical videos. Just kind of keeps you up to speed on everything that's going on. A lot of cool stuff on our YouTube channel. So check that out. I want to thank our guests today. They came down from the Lafayette District. First, sitting directly across from me is Sergeant Jeremy Pierce. Jeremy, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate taking the time to have me here today.
Yeah, and Jeremy is the PIO up at the Lafayette District, and he brought along with him an intern. And I know we've talked about internships on the show before, but this is our first chance to really dig into what the internship brings, and we brought somebody on the show, and that's Alan Darwachter from Lafayette, and you're a student at Ivy Tech, currently
Correct.
Doing an internship with the Indiana State Police, so welcome.
Welcome. I appreciate you having me on. Didn't expect it as an intern, but glad to be here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think Alan told Sergeant Pierce, said, hey, I'd like to go down and just watch them record the road show, and Sergeant Pierce called me, and I said, I can do you one better. He's going to be a guest.
Absolutely, and here we are today, huh?
and here we are. So I want to talk about the Lafayette District first, though, because it's a unique district because you obviously have Lafayette, West Lafayette, Purdue University, but then anything outside of that is a very rural district. So kind of tell us what Lafayette District looks like and what the day-to-day is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Lafayette is a very diverse district. We have 8 counties, and those cover some rural areas, such as Fountain and Warren counties that we help the local agencies down there quite a bit. And we have a lot of urban areas such as Lafayette and West Lafayette and Tippecanoe County that covers a lot of urban areas. And then we have I-65, which is an extremely busy interstate that runs from Chicago to Indianapolis that keeps us busy on a day-to-day basis. So we have a very diverse group of people working down there and what they do on day-to-day. Yeah,
you mentioned I-65 keeping you busy. I always kind of tell you, but it seems like if we have a huge crash that closes an interstate for hours and hours, it's always on I-65 in Lafayette.
Absolutely. I mean,
you guys seem to always have them.
Yeah, it never skips a beat that there's always something going on out there. So I try to keep that update on the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post Facebook page to make sure the public knows what's going on I-65.
And they've almost got it complete, but I know for the last probably 20 years they've been working to widen it 3 lanes all the way through, and so they're getting closer on getting that 6 lanes instead of 4 all the way through Lafayette area.
Absolutely. Hopefully one day all the way through Lafayette there'll be 6 lanes. Right now they just have it through the Lafayette area, and they're working on phase 2, which is just north of Lafayette, past State Road 43 by the post, and we just shut down some on-ramps over there at State Road 43 and I-65. So it's a process, but at the end of the day it should make everyone safer.
Yeah. So anybody in the Lafayette area or anywhere in the state, and you're thinking, wow, I think I'd like to work as a trooper in Lafayette, what's the website they can go to?
IndianaTrooper.com. Visit it, and you can learn what it's like to be a trooper, and you can also do ride-alongs or do an internship with us.
Yeah, so that brings us to our next thing. Is Indiana State Police offers an internship program, and it's not a paid internship, but any college student that majors in anything. You don't have to be a criminal justice major or criminology. If you're looking for an internship opportunity, you can go to IndianaTrooper.com and click on the link there that says internships and get all of the information. But really, really valuable tool. And Alan is taking part in that right now. He's not studying criminology. You're studying, I think you told me, professional communication.
Correct.
But yet you have an interest in becoming an Indiana State Trooper, so this was perfect for you to do an internship. So talk to us about the value that you have found in the internship to prepare yourself for your future career.
I think part of it just starts with the process to get the internship. So you have to initially apply. You have a 500-word essay. Then you come down, if you get selected, to interview in front of 3 troopers, one of them Sergeant Salzman. And so you kind of get that feel of what the process will be like when you apply. And then you go through the background checks, all that. And then you get a pick, I want to say 2 or 3 districts that you'd be interested in, and being from Lafayette, born and raised, Lafayette was first choice. And then when you get there, just meeting and just seeing the behind the scenes stuff. Like, we've been to the academy for a day, riding with troopers, and just talking to them about, the process, or just learning how they do things, and just seeing the variations between North Zone and South Zone, and kind of the calls they go on compared to being on the interstate. So it's just a wide variety of stuff that you wouldn't normally think about, like, yeah, okay, I'll just ride along, but you actually get to do quite a bit.
Yeah, and you've ridden with several different troopers, you've said. So what are some things, is there some things that maybe have surprised you that you didn't realize troopers do or respond to or operate before you started doing those ride-alongs?
I think just the difference in North and South Zone, because if you're assigned to Tippecanoe County, a lot of what you're doing is on I-65, whereas if you're assigned to Fountain Warren County, you're either going to calls or backing up their guys, because those small departments only have maybe one guy on at night. And so just seeing the different call volumes and different ways that they go about it, but also just the interest within the troopers. Like, there's some troopers that had recently been to interdiction, so they'll focus on that, and then they'll kind of say, this is what to look for when you're going up on a car and you think drugs might be there. And then you have some that are focused on OWIs, and, they'll come back after it's done and say, these were indicators I was looking for, or this is why I did it this way. And so you see kind of how they do their job, and, how they respond differently to different situations, and it just gives you that confidence to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that is one of the great things about the Indiana State Police that we can offer, is just the different types of even things like simple patrol work that we can do as far as working in an urban area and a rural area. And a lot of troopers do both. And so certainly different types of police work, different types of patrolling. But
absolutely. I think it gives you a great opportunity to take your passion for what you want to do in law enforcement, really run with it. The freedom that we have on our department to be able to go out and do what you need to do on a daily basis. We still go handle our calls, but a lot of times you get to go and take your passion and really dig into it. We'll send you to the best training possible to make sure you have the tools in your tool bag to get that job done.
Yeah, and that's right, because as we all work together, each person kind of brings something different to the table. Some of our troopers have a big passion to go out and chase down drunk drivers and find drunk drivers and arrest drunk drivers. Some troopers want to go out and work a day shift and go stop people who are speeding and driving recklessly. Some troopers want to be investigators, and once you dig into our investigation side, there's so many branches to that as well. So just a really a lot of opportunities within the Indiana State Police if you're looking for a career in law enforcement. So tell me, when the internship, what do you think is beneficial to prepare you for one, being an Indiana State trooper, but also if you decided you didn't want to be a trooper, it's still a very, very good program to be a part of. So talk about that.
I think part of it, a lot of it's with communication. Not just saying that because of my background, but the emphasis state police puts on, public relations. So just how you deal with people day in and day out. So if I go back to DCS, there's things I learned either from an investigative standpoint or just how to handle difficult situations. I can apply that to DCS, or you can apply it to anything else you want. It's not like you have to be in law enforcement to benefit from this. And so doing this has opened up, a lot of doors. And then just talking to previous troopers that have also been interns and then got on, what was beneficial about their internship that helped them in the academy or helped them moving on. And so you build those networks and those connections, but you also get that advice. And so that if you go on to academy, you have guys and girls that you can call and say, hey, this is what we're going through, and they can just kind of walk you through it. And so it's been beneficial just in my own stuff at DCS, but also just in general.
Yeah, and that's great. And Alan plans to apply for our next process, which we believe is going to open January 2nd of 2023 is when we're going to start accepting applications. But you don't have to wait until then. You can go on www.indianatrooper.com right now. You can sign up for a ride-along. You can fill out an interest card that is going to send your information to our recruiters, and we build that database so that when it comes time, we can reach out to those folks. So a lot of things you can do right now if you want a career with the Indiana State Police or in law enforcement in general. And so, Jeremy, what would you tell people? So outside of general police work that you would expect us to do, your district does some really unique things with Purdue football games, Purdue basketball. Just having a large college in your district changes some of the things you do as well.
Absolutely. With Purdue being there, we help a lot with Purdue football games. So on any given Purdue game, you're going to see troopers standing down there on the sideline or out in the road helping direct traffic, or really being a large presence around that college and helping out that local agency.
Yeah, so if you're a football fan, what a cool opportunity. You show up a couple hours before the game, you direct the traffic in, but then once the traffic's in, you have an opportunity to go in and stand on the sidelines in an effort to help with security, but also as a really cool opportunity to stand on the sidelines for a college football game.
Absolutely. This job is second to none when it gives you opportunities to be able to do things that you've never thought you'd get to do in your entire career, your entire life.
Yeah, there's been times where I'm standing on the starting grid for the Indianapolis 500 when they start the cars. I mean, there's not very many jobs on this planet that would give you that opportunity, and it's just a really, really cool moment. We've had things like, the Super Bowl. We always have the Indy 500, the Indiana State Fair. Just the vast majority of, or the availability of different things you can do is really unique to the Indiana State Police, and we're pretty proud of that.
Absolutely. If there's any career that you want to go into, there's almost always a spot within the Indiana State Police that's going to offer that.
Yeah, and we see, thanks to the current day television shows, we get a lot of folks that come to us and say, I want to be a crime scene investigator, or I want to be a child crimes detective, or I want to be a specific detective. We offer all of that. Like we have opportunities for just about everything you see on TV. We have that type of investigating.
Absolutely. We have that and more. I mean, the list is really endless of the specialty investigations that we have that you're able to go into. And like I said before, we are willing to send you to the best training to make sure that you have the proper tools to make sure you can carry out to that job to the best of your ability.
And even outside of investigations, sometimes the young folks or the folks that are interested in becoming troopers will come to us and say, I want to be on the SWAT team. I want to do scuba. I want to be a helicopter pilot. Check, and check. We have all of that. And not just do we have that, but sometimes we have the opportunity to move folks into those positions pretty early on in their careers so that we can really tap into what their passion is, like you mentioned earlier, and also get them on the career path that they came here looking for.
Absolutely. And it's something that you might not get at any other agency.
Yeah. So, Alan, would you, and I imagine what your answer is going to be, but would you highly recommend the internship for somebody that wants to be a police officer in general, or do you think it's more specific to somebody that wants to be a trooper?
I think it's more in general. There may be things that state police do that you didn't know that they did, or like if you're wanting to be on a small city department, if you go into South Zone, it's basically like that, but you have much more opportunities later. So you have that variation of you can do traffic, but there's just so much more that state police offers that I don't think, unless you ask or kind of research into it, that they do. And so when you get it, or you may find out, hey, maybe I still do want to be a county, and that's totally fine because you can use the experience here and go on to that.
Yeah.
So
very, very good information. So for more information about the Indiana State Police Internship Program, again, visit our website, www.indianatrooper.com. That will give you information about our hiring process, ride-along program, and our internship program. And if you're in college and you're looking for an internship, or you know somebody that's looking for an internship, maybe they don't want to be in law enforcement, we still open our doors and welcome them to complete an internship with the Indiana State Police, and maybe just give you a perspective from behind the scenes on some stuff. So we've got about 40 seconds left, Jeremy. Any closing thoughts here?
I think he hit it. We just have so many different things that we offer, and a lot of people right up front when I go speak to classes, I ask, what do you think a trooper does? And a lot of them say, you go out and work the interstate and you write tickets, and that's so far from the truth. We have so many different things that we have offer, and if you want to learn about that, at the very least, put in that ride-along application and go sit down with the trooper for 8.5 hours while he's on a shift and ask questions, and you can really learn what we do, or put in for our internship, and we'll work around your schedule to make sure that works, and you'll get to learn a lot more about our agency and what an Indiana State Trooper does.
Yeah, our internship program does have a very, very flexible schedule. I want to thank you both for coming down all the way from Lafayette and being on the show. Certainly appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and buckle your seatbelts.